Hey guys, Kurz here with you today. Today I want to go over a little comparison here. So we have here two of the, if not the two biggest kind of battery companies. We got Duracell. Over here we got Energizer. Energizer has a nice little bunny on here. I used to really enjoy those commercials when I was younger, but nice little packaging on this one here. But anyway, so I want to go over a few little kind of visual differences, and I'll go over my opinion on them because I definitely have an opinion on these. But anyway, let's go over the packaging first. So we have over here, so this is how this one got shipped to us. It just came in kind of your normal standard package you see at the grocery store. On the back we have a nice little kind of easy to open piece. Got a little arrow there, you push your finger through, open that up, get everything out. Over here, this is torn. I don't know why I did that. I don't know if I did it, my wife did it, no idea, but there's no need to tear that, but we did for whatever reason. But pretty straightforward packaging. Over here we have guaranteed 10 years in storage. On the back, kind of basic, nothing really worth reading here on the back of this one. All right, so let's move on to the next one here. All right, we have Energizer. Big or small, they all take Energizer Alkaline power. Again, we got the cute little Energizer bunny here, or Energizer rabbit, I think is what they call them. On the bottom, it says, "This is my bottom." That's amusing, kind of good little packaging there. All right, so pretty basic packaging here. So this one here, this is what it looks like when you open it. Again, this one, I don't know if you went to the store and bought it. I don't know if you can get packaging like this, or if it would just look a little bit more kind of your designer packaging. But either way, again, I ordered both of these online, but the Energizer took a little simpler route to it. Doesn't mean good or bad here. All right, so I'm just going to get a couple of these out for a little comparison, just on the visual side, and then again, I'll get to my actual opinions and my experiences with them here. All right, so this is what they look like. Again, I don't think either one's really changed their kind of art design here in years. I'm sure there's small little things, like maybe this has probably been altered throughout the years, but as a basic kind of rule, if you looked at these things 30 years ago, they probably looked about the same. Does it? Again, that's not good or bad. It's just something to point out. All right, let me change this angle a little bit where I'm at so you can kind of see. So going to the top of them, the Duracell one here, they're almost identical, really. I mean, if you look at kind of the way they're done, you have almost like a, I don't know if you call that packaging, or there's something there, almost like a fabric you can kind of see wrapped around it. Same thing over here, just kind of something going on there. You almost get your fingernail underneath and you can almost hear it. Yeah, there's something right there. Like if you put enough effort into it, maybe it'll peel that off. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take anything sharp to the battery and start poking around at it, but you probably could. On the bottom, again, pretty similar. This one over here has a little baby kind of needle sticking out there. Trying to see if there's anything else kind of to show you or to point out here. We got a little bit of information, size, format, got some numbers on there on the Energizer. The Duracell, I don't really see that. Yeah, I'm not really seeing too. Oh, actually, there it is. So we got the same thing over here. So they don't say the size, format, but they do put these little numbers and stuff. That doesn't mean anything to me. Again, I don't know what that stuff is, but apparently it does mean something, or they wouldn't put it on there. But all in all, they look kind of the same. If I had to guess, they probably weigh the same, but I almost feel like the Duracell's a little bit heavier. I'm just trying to go into different hands here to see if I feel a difference. Yeah, I feel like the Duracell's maybe a pinch heavier. Not that that really affects anything either, but all right. So speeding past the visual looks of it here, my own personal opinion. So from my experiences, where I use these the most is on a, what do you call it? A Roku remote. Some of your newer Roku remotes, they now have like an option on there where you can plug a earbuds. Well, I guess a headset too. I use earbuds But I plug my earbuds in there at night. And the reason I do that is in the evenings I generally go to bed anywhere from 1 to 2 hours before my wife does, and I just like that a little bit of time in there to kind of relax, have some time to myself, just to kind of unwind at the end of the day. Again, just gives me time to chill out some, gives her time away from me. We both enjoy a little bit of alone time there. But every time I go in there, I always put my earbuds in the remote, so that way I can watch TV, I can watch whatever I want to watch without my volume kind of interfering with her volume from her TV. Our house is pretty standard size. It's not a big, huge monster house here. So if I'm trying to watch TV in the bedroom and she's trying to watch TV in the family room, neither one of us will be able to hear it. So being able to have that little option to plug my earbuds in to that Roku remote is huge for me. I love it. I've been doing it for years now at this point. So I go through batteries pretty quick doing this. So if I'm using a generic battery, and there's plenty of generic batteries out there, you can go to any store, basically anywhere, and get a generic battery. Usually I will get probably about a week's worth of doing this. Again, I'm watching TV in there, I'd say probably 1 to 3 hours. Probably closer to 1 to 2, but occasionally I am in there a little bit longer, kind of listen to it. And a lot of times I'll fall asleep to it. I'll fall asleep to whatever I'm watching. I'll still have my earbuds in and just still draining the battery. But for a generic battery, I do find I generally get about a week's worth from that. And that goes by pretty quick. If you're going through, a couple AA batteries every single week, it goes by. It gets annoying, basically. So with these two batteries, I do feel like I noticed a distinct difference. I always feel like the Energizer does better. I don't know why. As a kid, I felt like Duracell was kind of the superior battery. Maybe just the kind of the cheesy commercials on the Energizer kind of got me. I just thought maybe it was a little bit childish. Again, even now, they still got the cute little Energizer bunny or Energizer rabbit. I think it's a rabbit. They still have the little rabbit on there. So it kind of in my head, I always think the Energizer is a little bit childish. But at the same time, lots of kid toys use batteries. So if come holidays, birthdays, you're buying your kid presents, there's a good chance that little kind of kiddish advertisement's going to sway you. But I do find the Energizer does seem to be, at least in my experience, a superior battery. I still use both. I've never actually measured it in any real way. I haven't got a gauge or anything else to actually tell me how long or how much juice you get from both of these. So I could be very, very wrong on it. Maybe there's just something in my head kind of fooling me or playing tricks with me here. But I do feel like the Energizer has lasted longer. And, like I said a few minutes ago, that the generic ones last about a week. I feel like the Duracell gives me, 2 weeks. And I feel like again, I haven't actually looked at the calendar. I need to do that one day. But I do feel like the Energizer lasts longer. I wouldn't say as long as 3 weeks compared to the 2 weeks on the Duracell, but I do feel like it's pushing 2.5 weeks maybe. Again, maybe my mind is just playing tricks on me, but again, that's my experience with these. Again, I do get both because, again, I don't know if I'm really right or not, so I still torture myself going back and forth. But I do think they're both very good batteries, definitely in comparison to the generic batteries you can get out there. Again, every store you go to or every website you go to, you can get a generic battery. I do feel like these are both definitely superior. Again, I go through batteries a lot. I really, a whole bunch there. Just, Roku remotes, I love them to death. But using these batteries in them all the time, it gets pretty old, But again, I love it, so I'm definitely going to keep doing that. But again, Energizer to me anyway feels like it's been a little bit more superior. So there you go, guys. I hope somebody out there got something from this video, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.